Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for laughing in my mother's face when she said my stepsister planned my 18th birthday? A little background: my mom and dad separated when I was 6 and each went their separate ways. Of course, they had joint custody of me, but they both started new families. When I was 9, my mom married a man, let's call him Robert, who already had a daughter, let's call her Kira, who was 2 years older than me. My dad got engaged when I was 8 to a wonderful woman, let's call her Layla, who he married when I was 12. My relationship with Layla is beautiful. She has truly been a mother to me. She basically helped my dad raise me. She takes an interest in my life. She comforts me. She advises me. We have common interests and we do many activities together. She and I recently talked about the possibility of having her legally adopt me as soon as I come of age. Doing so now would be a bit messy legally because of my parents' joint custody, because, for me, she is my real mother and I want it to be official. My relationship with my bio mother, on the other hand, is almost non-existent. Even though I was forced to spend specific days with her, we never managed to bond because she spent all her time giving attention and affection to Kira, who already have her own mother. Even when she tried to involve me in some activity, she always included Kira and we had to do only what Kira liked. At a certain point, I started to decline her invitations and often asked if I could avoid going to her on the set days because I was almost always ignored or left aside and I preferred to stay at home with my father and Layla. My father always tried to understand me, but he also had to honor the rules set by the judge. When I got more mature, he admitted that he was afraid that my mother might make some mean move in court if he agreed to not let me go to her on the appointed days. Yeah, this is something my mother would do. After knowing this, I understood my father's reasons and I absolutely don't want to put him in trouble, so I didn't make such requests anymore and I respected my schedule. Now let's get to the point. In 2 weeks I will finally turn 18. I was lucky because my birthday falls on the days I have to stay with my dad, so he, Layla and I started planning my birthday a month ago. It will be nothing too crazy. Just a party with family and friends at my favorite pizza place. A casual night where I just want to have fun with the people I care about and do what I like. The place also has karaoke and I love singing. Of course, after booking and setting everything up, we sent out the invitations, and this extended to my mother as well. Honestly, I didn't really want her there, but then I thought that this would actually be the last time I was forced to be involved with her because once I turn 18 I won't be forced to follow the judge's rules anymore. So we sent out the invitations 2 days ago and we already had almost all the answers, so we could organize the precise number to send to the pizza place. The only thing missing was my mother, who saw the text and did not respond. I told my father that I would not insist, and if she did not respond, then it meant she did not want to come and I was fine with that. I think my father was also a little relieved by the idea, even if he didn't say it openly, but I could see it on his face. Anyway, the drama started this afternoon. My mother called me, very angry, accusing me of being childish and that I shouldn't have planned anything without telling her first. This left me a little confused, and I reminded her that I always planned all my birthdays with Dad and Layla. Most of the time she didn't even remember, so complaining now was quite hypocritical. This made her even angrier and started attacking me because Kira had been crying ever since I sent the invitation to my mother because she had already planned a whole birthday party for me. And I was really speechless because the relationship between me and Kira is zero. She is the classic spoiled brat who always wants to be the center of attention, and my mother has always supported this behavior of hers, making it worse, and clearly she and I have never gotten along. I just didn't understand why the hell Kira wanted to organize a birthday party for me. It didn't make sense. I asked her why she did it and especially why she did it without telling me. I mean, she didn't really think I wouldn't make any plans for my 18th birthday, right? It was ridiculous. My mother said it was supposed to be a surprise, and since I didn't tell her about my plans, she thought I didn't want to do anything for my birthday. And I mean, she could have asked. No? No. But here comes the worst part and, I admit, the one that made me lose my cool. My mother started listing all the things Kira had prepared for my party, maybe to rub in my face what I would have missed. And they were all Kira's favorite activities. Things that I didn't like. She had booked a fish restaurant for lunch and I don't eat fish. Not because of some whim, but because it made me feel sick. Just smelling fish makes me feel nauseous. I'm not allergic, I had it checked, my body simply rejects it. She also booked an afternoon activity at a ranch near the city where my mother now lives, where you can ride horses and, well, I don't like it. I have nothing against horses in particular, but the idea of riding one or getting really close to an animal that big scares me. Then she thought about going back to my mom's house for a backyard barbecue for dinner, and I just don't want to do that because I don't want to spend more time with my mom than I have to. My mother also said they had already sent out invitations to everyone, and at that point I was really speechless, but I had to ask her who she had sent them to because my friends, my dad, and his family hadn't received anything. It turns out that at the party was mostly invited to Robert's family, my mom's family, and Kira's friends. I mean, it was basically a party organized by Kira for herself, but under the pretext that it was for my birthday. So, I didn't hold back anymore. I laughed in my mother's face and hung up the phone. It was all too ridiculous to be true, come on. My dad came to me a little while ago, saying that my mom called him mad because I laughed in her face when she told me about the party they had organized for me, and he was very upset about it. He was starting to say that, despite all the feelings I had for my mom, they were trying to do a nicer thing for once, but I stopped him right away and explained in details how the party had been organized, a detail that my mom apparently left out with him. His expression changed quickly. He just said, "I'm going to make a phone call," and I've been hearing him yelling at my mother for at least 20 minutes by now. Layla came to me after learning about the situation and said that as much as she could relate to me, I was a little rude to laugh in my mother's face and hang up without explaining. For her, I should have spoken out like an adult despite my feelings and sort things out in a civil and mature way. She wasn't angry, just a bit disappointed about how I acted. As soon as she left, I thought about my actions and maybe I was a little hasty, but I don't think talking to my mom about it would have helped, honestly. But maybe I could have handled it better. I'm starting to think I was a bit of a bad person in that moment. What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for naming my dog after my ex-wife's boyfriend? Basically, I got myself a dog after the divorce to fill the space when my kids were with her. We have 50-50, so it got pretty lonely. She took our dog on the divorce. Well, I kept trying names on him. He's a good boy, but high-energy teacup popdol. Like the dog she took. We ended over an affair she had and still continues with him. So, as you can guess, I somehow started calling the dog his name one day as a joke when he was bad. It amused me so much it stuck. Aside from the joke of it all, it has strangely helped me cope. But holy crap, is this pissing off the ex-wife. My puppers is a good boy, and we take care of each other. But the dark humor of it just works for me. Bonus is my kids find it hilarious too, as they are not fans of the homewrecker. So, am I the bad person? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for asking to be seated away from a screaming baby at a higher-end restaurant? So tonight my parents and I went to a higher-end steakhouse. The kind where a steak is $110. The restaurant has a dress code and you have to make a reservation at least 2 weeks in advance. We were celebrating my dad's birthday and Mother's Day. The restaurant also has a policy where there are to be no children under 16 after 8 p.m., and our reservation was at 6 p.m. About 6:30, a couple comes in with their baby. My parents and I roll our eyes, but think nothing about it until the baby starts shrieking while the parents did absolutely nothing about it. I pulled one of the servers aside and asked to be seated away from the baby. They accommodated us with no problem and the couple just gave us dirty looks. My mom tried to tell me off, but since I was the one who paid $350 for us to enjoy a meal in peace, my dad told her to shut up. Am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.